Hi, my name is Justin Stevens. I'm a student for MQM 220, and I'm here today with Michael Ignowski at Grossinger Motors. And I'm interviewing him today because he is the customer service manager. And so I'm going to start it off with, can you please briefly describe your current position and responsibilities here?
Sure. What I do every day is handle the internet inquiries and general customer problems. So for the internet inquiries, what that means is 90% of all information through the car dealership, people who want to buy the car, people who have questions, all goes through me and through the internet. So with the evolution of the internet, a whole new department has had to been handled, which is in turn handled by me. Through the computer, people put in inquiries, asking questions about specific vehicles, when they can come in, details, etc., and I call and handle all of that. So everything from website maintenance to keeping the inventory up to date and just answering and handling everybody's questions and problems is done directly through me.
Okay. Um, let's say, think about some skills and knowledge that you need to be effective in your job every day. What are they, and how did you acquire them?
Sure. Definitely it's going to be dealing with people face to face. Even though most of the time I only talk to people over the phone, you have to be very courteous with customers and know exactly what they're looking for. The main idea of my job is to get them to come into the store. So whatever you can really do to get that solid appointment. So you want to answer their questions, but you don't want to answer too many of their questions. You want them to come into the store, you want them to purchase the vehicle, you want them to see it in hands because you can't buy a car over the phone is what we usually do here. So the key to doing that is convincing the customer to come in, balancing out the information that you want to give them versus the information that you actually have. If somebody is giving you a hard time or is really hesitant to coming in, a lot of people are scared of the car business. A lot of people are scared of the shady salesmen and the techniques, and my job is to get them ready to come in and to make sure that they are just 100% comfortable and know exactly what they're doing before they make the big step of walking in and maybe purchasing an $80,000 vehicle.
So being face-to-face is a key component here.
Yeah, for sure. But even though if you're on the phone, you have to just know how to deal with the customer and deal with people as if they're in front of you. Practicing in front of the mirror helps. We do cold calling here. We do just general practicing strategies in the meetings. You just go one-on-one with your employees, with your subordinates, etc., and just practice and pretend that they're a customer with general knowledge questions and what you can do to get them in the store.
Okay. What would you say are some critical differences between like an average manager and top performing managers?
Definitely the standards of showing up on time and being there for your full shift. It's really easy to get caught up in not, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess you could say it's easy to get caught up on being over the phone and on the internet. You might not dress appropriately, you might not act like it's a big deal, you might mumble on the phone. You have to try to encapsulate them as if they're right in front of you. That's always what we push here. Act as if they're directly in front of you, even if they're in California. It's the people who are just on the phone and very monotone and not really getting anything done, not really convincing, that don't do as well as someone who is and who has practiced, with real people in real time, not just showing up and doing the conversations as they come, being preemptive and knowing what to do and say.
All right. Would you say that often your job extends out of the office too at times, more than even off hours?
Definitely off hours, yeah. So I'm answering emails all the time. There's different time zones, all kinds of stuff. So if I say, you get people sending you emails before you start your shift and after your shift. And that also goes back to the original question, or one of the original questions, as to what separates a good and bad employee. The fact that if you do want to put in the extra time, if there's a couple extra minutes outside of the office, can do a lot in terms, even though you don't have to do it. Remember repeating the question for me one more time? There was two parts.
There was just critical differences between the average and top performing managers, and just being out of the office. If there was a lot of time that you did dedicate to that.
Yeah,
as well.
That would pretty much be about it. Then I would say, just mostly with emails.
Mm-hmm.
I give my personal cell phone out. Usually, subordinates would not do that. We actually recommend not giving your personal phone out, so you don't have to really take calls, which is the key component of what you would do in the office. Mostly just emails.
Okay.
And knowing that information without the tools in front of you helps too, because I don't have my folders. I can't ask the manager, and I don't want to tell somebody some crucial information about a huge purchase when I don't have the information, and that would set me apart from the pack.
Okay. And just briefly, what are some pros and cons of your job?
Well, I guess the pros being to talk to people. If you like talking to people, it's definitely the job for you. Any sales job. It's really easy. It doesn't really require too much schooling. It doesn't really require too much training. The best salespeople are the people who are born for it, and that goes with over the phone as well, or however you want to put it. Really just easy to get into for some, and that's also a con though. Some people just aren't ready for that. Some people just don't have what it takes, maybe just how they were raised or their environment that they grew up in. You usually get the theater people and all the really extroverted people that do this, so that would be a pro. You get to work with really fun people, not a lot of schooling. Some cons of the job would probably be the hours. We all put in a lot of hours here, usually a lot of 6 days a week, especially towards the end of the month. Another con would be, especially for maybe some other people in the store, would be the commission pay. So not every time you're going to do well. You have to be prepared. You might have a really great month and say, wow, I can afford this, this, and this, and this, and this, but then next month you don't have such a great month. So you have to really balance out your pay. There's no salary. It's all based on how well that you can do as an individual. And that can be a pro or a con, and that's what really separates the top dogs from the bottom ones.
All right. Well, Michael Ignowski, thank you again. Michael Ignowski, the customer service manager here at Grossinger Motors. Thanks again.
No problem, bud.